President Bola Tinubu has sacked the 6 managing directors and director generals of parastatals in the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development. This was disclosed in a statement on Wednesday by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale. The affected directors include the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, and Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. The Managing Director of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Kabir Yusuf Mohammed, has been removed from office and replaced with Olubunmi Oluwaseun Kuku as the substantive Managing Director of the Nigerian Airports Authority of Nigeria. Managing Director of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, Tayyib Adetunji, has been removed from office and replaced with Engineer Umar Ahmed Farouk, and is the substantive Managing Director of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. The Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Engineer Kinola Olatenu, has been removed from office and replaced with Alex Bade Jr. as the substantive Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau. And meanwhile, the presidency on Wednesday said the suspended Director General of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Musa Nuhu, will be probed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngelale, who disclosed this in a statement, said Nuhu suspension will enable the anti-graft agency beam its anti-corruption searchlight on the NCCA. And Rivers State Commissioner for Justice and the Attorney General of the state, Zaccheaus Anango, has resigned his appointment as the State Commissioner of Justice. Anango, in his letter of resignation dated the 14th of November 2023, was addressed to Governor Sim Fubara, citing personal principles. The resignation of the commissioner comes on the heels of the demolition of the State House of Assembly at the instance of Governor Simi Fubara and presentation of the State Appropriations Bill by governors to the 4 members, the State House of Assembly led by Edison Ehie. And Rivers State Governor Simi Fubara on Thursday signed into law the 2024 Appropriations Bill of 800 billion naira, a day after he presented the budget estimates to the State House of Assembly led by Edison Ehie. Ehie and his loyalists subsequently approved the bill, and the governor assented it on Thursday. The signing ceremony was held in the conference room of the governor's office at the government house. The ceremony was witnessed by the Deputy Governor Ngozi Odu, some members of the council, present and former lawmakers who support Governor Fubara, and some chairmen of the People's Democratic Party at the local government areas. The governor in the address said the estimated 800 billion naira tagged budget of renewed hope, consolidation and continuity will be implemented to provide critical infrastructure like the second phase of the landmark Trans-Kalabari Road and meets the socio-economic needs of the people. On his part, Edison Ehie, one of those contending the speakership seat in the Rivers State House of Assembly, commended the governor's foresight in expanding infrastructure and youth development through employment generation. In another twist to the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State, the Martins Amawule-led Rivers State House of Assembly convened a sitting on Thursday after the demolition of the assembly complex by the state government. The Amawule group held a plenary session at the auditorium of the assembly. Quarters on Aba Road despite a restraining court order. The sitting by the Amawule group came just a day after the 5-man group led by Edison Ehie declared vacant 27 seats of lawmakers in the Amawule group for defecting from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. And during Thursday's plenary by the group, the lawmakers condemned the demolition of the assembly complex in the state by the state government. And in total, there were 26 lawmakers in attendance, even as the group decided to use the auditorium at the assembly quarters for their legislative sittings going forward. The acting governor of Ondo State, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has urged the people of the state to embrace unity even as they return the state to the path of accelerated progress. Ayedatiwa stated this on Thursday morning during a state broadcast on his assumption of office as the acting governor of the state following the transmission of power after Governor Akeredolu's departure on medical leave and the ratification of the move by the State Assembly. The acting governor urged the people of the southwest state not to relent while calling for prayers for the quick restoration of good health and strength to the ailing governor, Rotimi Akeredolu. And the Ekiti State Police Command has vowed to arrest the perpetrators of a bank robbery in the Ikere-Ekiti area of the state. Robbers had attacked two new generation banks in Ikere-Ekiti on Wednesday evening, carting away an undisclosed amount of money where 3 persons are feared to be dead. In a statement after the incident, the police spokesman in the state, Abutu Sunday, said the Commissioner of Police visited the scene of the robbery incident at Ikere-Ekiti for an on-the-spot assessment. The police spokesperson said tactical squads and soldiers deployed to the scene engaged the hoodlums who abandoned the 3 vehicles and 2 motorcycles before they fled to the bush. The police enjoined anyone with useful information concerning the identities and whereabouts of the hoodlums to contact the police. The commissioner commiserated with the family members of those who were fatally affected and wished those currently receiving treatment in the hospital a quick recovery. The Defense Headquarters says it has opened an investigation into the December 3 accidental bombing of Tudumbiri community in Kaduna State, which claimed over 100 lives. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, in an interview with Punch newspaper, said the investigation panel has 8 senior officers. This was as the leadership of the Tudumbiri community in the Igabi local government area of Kaduna State disowned claims that the community had filed a 33 billion naira lawsuit against the federal government. This development is coming days after public outcry over the incident, with stakeholders calling for full-scale investigation into the bombing incident. The Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy, has revealed that the ministry in recent times has spent over $10 million on frivolous meetings. The minister stated this at a Women's Stakeholders Conference organized by the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development. The report.
She described most women meetings as unimpactful and highly wasteful, insisting that going forward she will no longer partner with advocacy groups. She added that, while many Nigerians toil day and night to survive the harsh economic situation of the country, Nigeria's Ministry of Women Affairs engages in wasteful spendings.
Because majority of the monies have been spent on frivolities. Speaking English, going for meetings, $10 million could be spent on just meetings, advocacies, travelings, and we are seeing it. Instead of us to focus on it, what all of us are doing, please include me, I want to go. So that they get something. That little money you get and your country is going down by the day. Nobody cares. Until we focus on those issues, talk to ourselves, and then the government, the way the committee is working, I'm pleading with them to work on changing the policies.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, who was represented by the Deputy Chief Whip of the House, Adewumi Onanuga, said the Green Chamber has taken deliberate effort to ensure the women are given special treatment as enshrined in the 10th House legislative agenda.
The legislature, especially the House of Representatives, has taken deliberate steps to give prominent place to women in the 10th House legislative agenda. This conference is an opportunity to advance various strategies to drive the vision for which the We Win was initiated, and I thank the organizers of the conference for putting it together.
The minister, however, said she will cut down on some visits by advocacy groups, saying such were encouraging waste within the system.
And this is News Update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Indiscriminate waste disposal poses public health concern in Kano. More news when we return to stay tuned.
Should I keep quiet? And then we kept saying, can't we Teach these people basic business, not hustling. Teach our people entrepreneurship, not hustling. Go to China, Guangzhou, different districts. They can turn fair. Am I saying what you don't know?
So this about this thing.
Yeah, but this time around we're talking about appointment of ministers, where there is an express provision in the constitution as regards that.
Let's come to appointments. You know, it is the status of FCT that the constitution has made is too complicated for people to understand.
However, if you are to go backwards and do a kind of audit, you will be shocked to find that the resources so far expended on the SDGs far outstrips the achievements face to face.
Most of the time when you are involved, it's difficult for you to draw back and have a holistic view. Because what? Sentiment would always come to play, because all of us would definitely, I had, like I told you yesterday, I was 100% convinced that you cannot say you are qualified without bringing any document.
This is Africa Update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba. Thanks for joining.
Rest of Africa, stand and make sure that our people understand.
And the story of the OAU can be told and retold. It cannot be denied that it made a contribution to the process of decolonization of the continent in many ways.
Ethiopia is where it is today in no small part because of the tireless efforts of the African Union and the wisdom of its deeply held belief in the principle of African solution to African problems.
The bulk of African countries were under colonial rule in 1945. So they did not take part in the negotiations that established the Bretton Woods institutions.
But the African continent is not included in the South-South relations. And therefore, our objective is to ensure that the Africa Free Trade Agreement is actually implemented. And the BRICS countries, all of them are trading with Africa.
And we know that there are resources in Sudan, especially in Darfur. And that is why Darfur has been on the front burner for a long time.
So Cameroonians are anxious, Cameroonians are impatient, Cameroonians are like, oh, many of the guys are not talking today. You can read it all over the social media.
Egypt has officially declined to accept fleeing Palestinians for fear that the more Palestinians you accept across the border into Egypt, the more trouble there may be for the country in the nearest and farthest future.
Human beings know what is right. If they don't want to do what is right, they will give you 1,001 reasons why they are doing the wrong things.
So they see themselves as conquerors, and other people have been conquered.
When the opposition and the press keep parroting that phrase, government has failed, but we will not be here, hold on, we will not be here, sitting down here, if government has failed.
There has been almost total collapse of the security outfit, and the terrorists are taking advantage of this.
On that, a country that has about 923 square kilometers of arable land, not more than 2.5% has been cultivated.
Of course, you, the Nigerian citizen, will also have your say via our phone-in numbers on your screen.
The issue of appointment in Nigeria has become more political than doing the right thing for the country.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Here is a recap of our major stories. President Tinubu reshuffles leadership of aviation agencies. And Rivers Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General resigns amidst political crisis. The Kano state government on Thursday agreed to pay 3 billion naira as compensation to the incorporated trustees of Masalachi ED shop owners and traders association for the unlawful demolition of their property. The agreement was reached through an application in terms of settlement filed by counsel to parties before Justice Inyang Ikwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja. Following the demolition of the shops on Governor Abba Yusuf's order, 56 applicants on behalf of the association had filed the suit in the Kano division of the court. Justice Samuel Ahmad Beda had on September the 29th in a judgment ordered the state government to pay the traders 30 billion naira as compensation against the traders' 250 billion naira demand for the illegal demolition of their property. But following the refusal of the state government to obey the Kano court order, the traders filed an ex parte motion before Justice Ekwo seeking an order for Ganashi Order Nisi attaching the funds of KSG Nukda State AG, including but limited to Kano State Federal Account Allocation Committee. And however, upon resumption hearing on Thursday, counsel to the judgment creditors, N.A. Ayagi, informed the court that the parties had reached an agreement. Kano State government had recently employed over 44,000 street sweepers as part of efforts to keep the state clean, but indiscriminate refuse disposal has continued to threaten the environment across the metropolis. In this report, Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin takes a look at Kano's environmental sanitation and why indiscriminate refuse dump persists. The report.
This is Kano's Refuse Management and Sanitation Board, where refuse disposal and evacuation vehicles are waiting to be dispatched to sites. Although some are obsolete, others are being repaired. Day and night, refuse evacuation exercise is carried out in Kano. Yet, indiscriminate refuse dump remains a threat to the environment.
Our problem is people that are dumping this in the street, on the road. They don't care. We have a dumping site. We have more than 160 dumping sites. But the people, they don't willing to cooperate. Some Nigerians don't have attitude. They don't want to cooperate and take this in, especially to dumping site. When they pick it from your house or anyone's house or in the street, they will just put it in the street.
This place where refuse is dumped is one of Kano's popular routes, linking motorists and traders to the famous Abubakar Rimi market in Sabongari. From marketplaces to motor parks and junctions to densely populated areas, the story is the same.
Some people in their house does not even have money to buy pure water. So if you don't have money to buy pure water and you need to give people that will take disposal out from your house, it will cost maybe 15 naira, 100 naira. You don't have money, you have to trade anywhere you want to trade and ease yourself.
It has become a tradition in the entire Kano environment, whereby they don't take it as a health hazard. However, they're just dumping for dumping's sake. And sometimes the government is not helping in matters.
Inadequate or complete lack of dumping site in some areas, government irregular refuse evacuation and the absence of environmental sanitation inspectors are largely responsible for the indiscriminate refuse dumping in Kano.
Even you yourself can see that here, whether there is sanitation, because I have never seen government parking refuge in this place. All along, we have been here, we do the little one we can do, and even though you go to the back, it's blocked. There is nothing we can, less for government, there is nothing like that. It's, I think, individual effort. That's what we have been doing here. But there was a time somebody came and told us that they want to bring dustbin for us, that they will put dustbin at the road, outside the yard, that each person will pay, they told us to register, we pay 150 naira. But at the end, when we went there, we didn't saw anybody.
According to the Kano State Refuse Management and Sanitation Board, there are well over 100 refuse collection centers across the 8 metropolitan local governments, and hundreds of people were engaged to keep the environment clean.
Yes, when we came, there's no reserve, only kept getting one company released by the release them, Remsov as a partner or collaboration or memo understanding with that company. I think according to the information, it's about 25 years. So I think the NOE has been collapsed since the government gave him that approval. It's no longer working again. So when the governor came, she decided to bring it back Remsov so that as agency we can evacuate refugees in this state.
Despite this, residents have continued to express concern over the inadequate dumping sites, which is the reason most people dump refuse indiscriminately. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
In business, the Standards Organization of Nigeria says by implementing the minimum energy performance standards, Nigeria will save an estimated 500 billion naira. The Director General of the agency, Ifeanyi Okeke, stated this in Abuja on Wednesday at an awareness workshop on minimum energy performance standards with the team promoting energy efficiency and non-toxic lighting through the MEPSS compliance. Represented by the Director Laboratory Services of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Adewumi Richards, the Director General emphasized that Nigeria will save about 387 megawatts of power, which is estimated at about $500 million by implementing the MEPS as the world gradually shifts to clean energy. He explained that the MEPS are regulations that set a minimum energy level of efficiency that a product must meet to be sold in the market, adding that the standards are crucial in reducing energy consumption, lowering greenhouse gas emissions, and promoting a sustainable future. And the World Bank report has indicated that Nigeria's poverty level has taken a notch higher at a backdrop of the recent economic and fiscal reforms. The bank said the policies have created intense pressures on cost of living, which has pushed more Nigerians into hardship, with 104 million now living below the poverty line. The key reforms include the removal of petrol subsidy and foreign exchange market rate. Restructuring, and the bank, however, commended the federal government for what it considered bold reforms necessary to rescue Nigeria from fiscal cliff, describing the current pains as temporary. And away from Nigeria, a Senegal court has ordered jailed opposition leader Ousmane Sonko to be reinstated on the electoral register, a ruling that could pave the way for him to run in February's presidential election, Sonko's lawyer Sire Kledio said on Thursday. Sonko has faced a flurry of court cases over the past 2 years for charges including libel and rape, which he denies. The cases against him have triggered deadly violence in the West African nation. Sonko, 49 years of age, was cleared of rape in June but sentenced to a 2-year jail term after a court found him guilty of an offense described in the penal code as immoral behavior towards individuals younger than 21 years. He was arrested in July for insurrection and was struck off the electoral roll, a decision that potentially ruled him out of the February vote. Sonko came third in Senegal's 2019 presidential election as he is seen as a main opposition challenger in the race to succeed President Macky Sall. And Tanzania's foreign ministry on Thursday confirmed the death of one of its nationals who was killed immediately after being captured by Hamas during the October 7 attacks in the southern Israel. The Israeli government had named 2 students from Tanzania, 22-year-old Clemens Felix Mtenga and 21-year-old Joshua Luito Moleo, among those missing since the attack. Tanzania's foreign ministry announced Mtenga's death last month without elaborating on how he was killed. On Thursday, the Foreign Minister Jean-Marie Makamba said authorities had been informed by the Israeli government that Joshua Moleo, a young Tanzanian who was studying in Israel and with whom it had lost contact since October 7, 2023, was killed immediately after being captured by Hamas. He said on X that the Tanzanian authorities were making arrangements for Moleo's relatives, including his father, to travel to Israel with a government official to meet the ambassador and Israeli officials and obtain more details on the circumstances of his death. The two students were among some 260 Tanzanian youths who went to Israel for an internship in modern farming under a partnership program between the two countries. And now to sports news. The Nigeria Premier Football League, the NPFL, has selected 5 centers to host the inaugural edition of the Youth League tournament slated to kick off in February of 2024. The NPFL Under-17 Youth League Organizing Committee disclosed this in a letter signed by its chairman, Emeka Inyama. And these places are Lafia, Ekiti, Oka, Kaduna, and Asaba West, listed as the host cities for the developmental league. The competition kickoff will start on the 1st of February 2024 across all venues, and 20 teams will participate in the inaugural edition of the league, with 5 groups comprising 4 teams each. The winner from each group will qualify for the championship playoff, where they will play another round-robin format in the center to be decided later by the organizers. And the 8 teams that dropped from the Champions League into the Europa League this season have been confirmed. And all the clubs that finished in 3rd place in Europe's top-tier competition automatically go into the Europa League. The teams are Galatasaray, RC Lens, Braga, Benfica, Feyenoord, AC Milan, Young Boys, and Shakhtar Donetsk. They all go straight into the Europa League knockouts round playoffs. The Europa League playoffs involve 8-seeded teams taking on 8 unseeded teams. The winners will qualify for the round of 16, where the 8 groups winners await. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social media handles for more news, programs, and documentaries. My name is Chiamaka Nendu. Thank you for watching.